I am Planta on the line. This is TheCommentary.ca. John Chow is well known in this part of the world and elsewhere for making money online. He's got a new book out, Make Money Online, Roadmap of a .com Mogul, which he wrote with Michael Kwan. They both join me now. In 1999, Chow launched the TechZone.com, one of the largest technology websites on the internet. Another of his websites, the aptly titled JohnChow.com, offers ideas on how to make money online. You'll read in this book how these websites came about, the numbers of people who've visited, and the money he's made on them, something like $40,000 a month. It's an interesting story, and the book is full of many tips. Our old friend Michael Kwan of MichaelKwan.com is a freelance writer and blogger. Make Money Online is published by Morgan James. Please welcome to the Planta Online program John Chow and Michael Kwan. Good morning, Mr. Chow.
Good morning. How are you?
Very good. And good morning, Mr. Kwan.
Hey, Joe.
So, John, this book began as an e-book. Do you find it ironic that you're writing a book about making money online, that it has to come out in a traditional book, say?
Well, the idea is to turn it into a traditional book. As it came about when I was talking to Joe Kong, and he told me that if I publish a traditional book, I'll be able to reach a much wider audience than I would with just having an e-book. And also, publishing a traditional book also elevates my brand, because I will go from basically an e-book peddler to a published author, and that allowed me down the road to basically get stuff that I normally wouldn't be able to do if I just have an e-book publisher. Like since publishing a book, I've been invited to a lot more speaking engagement. Like I'll be in October, I'm heading to Germany to talk to the Travel Writers of America convention, and that's just some of the stuff that I wouldn't get if I just had a regular ebook.
And John, branding, that's the goal in terms of, if you're on the internet, if you have a blog, if you have a website, you have to brand yourself, right?
Yeah. It's having a published book, basically just one more way for me to stand out from all the other, bloggers out there.
Mike, who is this book for?
It's mostly for people that are not too familiar with blogging. It's more of an introductory book, at least for the first half or so, and then the second half starts to get into more intermediate monetization practices and that kind of thing. Because then a lot of people, they're not as familiar with things like how to install a WordPress site and even how advertising works on a blog. I had a conversation with my cousin the other day, and she wasn't familiar with how AdSense worked and how publishers can get paid on a per-click basis and that kind of thing. She was still more familiar with traditional advertising where it'd be more of a one-to-one relationship between the advertiser and the publisher, the same way that an ad exec would go to NBC to get a 30-second spot on a TV show.
And John, if you've just started a blog, is this book good for you?
Oh, definitely. Like I said, like Michael said, it's geared toward beginners and intermediate. And even if you never had a blog in your life, this book should help you out. It'll show you the best software to use to set up a blog, and it'll show you strategy to get traffic, how to write content, and how to attract an audience.
John, did you always grow up with computers?
Pretty much. Like computers were always a hobby for me. Like back in 1998, I built my own computer back when everyone was, buying HP and Dell and IBM. And that's how I really got started. Like I said, my original site was a technology site, and it was about that first computer I built by myself. And back then it was, I think, 300 megahertz. And I managed to get it running at about 504 megahertz. So I did a little web page about how I did that, and I grew into the Tech Zone.
And the Tech Zone preceded blogging, right?
Yeah, we're back in 1998 back then, so that was before Google, before blogging, before a bunch of stuff.
Are you surprised, John, about how far we've come in the 11 years or so since that first site?
Looking back on it, I am amazed, and I do get people who ask me, like, is it easier today versus back when I first started? Because they figure back then I had no competition. It was just myself and a handful of other people. But today, with the amount of technology, the amount of free stuff you can use, I would say it's easier to make money from blogging today than it was when back in 2005 when I first started my blog. Because back then, there wasn't as many available traffic building techniques. There wasn't as many revenue generating methods as there was today. Like, today, the platform to creating a blog is totally free. There are numerous plugins that does pretty much anything you can imagine. Like we have free plugins to serve ads. We have plugins to get more comments. We have plugins to do pretty much anything, and most of them are available either free or very, very low cost. And we didn't have any of that stuff when I started the blog back in 2005.
And where do we go from here, Mike? Do you think the next 10 years, do you think we'll make more money online?
It seems that way because even traditional media is slowly starting to embrace the online format as we talk about newspapers and magazines and that kind of thing. More and more of them, they're starting to focus on their websites and driving people that way because people don't want to have to go and buy a newspaper each day that's telling you yesterday's news. By definition, a newspaper can't tell you today's news, right? Whereas with a blog, it can be updated every second, every minute, and that's where we're going to be going forward. A lot more citizen journalism, people on the floor rather than going through the major media outlets.
John, do you think that Mike mentioned the traditional media and they're going towards that? They keep complaining about how much money they're losing, yet you're making money online. What are you doing that they're not?
I think the main thing is traditional media. They're very bloated. You know, they have separate departments to do everything. They have an ad department, a creative department. Whereas as a blogger, I'm definitely a lot more mobile. I could definitely adapt faster than the traditional big companies, so to speak. And I don't think traditional media is taking advantage of the many revenue opportunities that are available online. Like they're still stuck in the let's sell advertising and fill our inventory kind of mentality. Whereas the real money in blogging, while there's still good money to be made in advertising, the real money in blogging is other methods such as affiliate marketing, referring your readers and getting a commission from that. That's more and more, that's where the real money is coming from. And I don't see traditional newspaper or traditional media doing that right now.
And when you talk about the business model of the traditional media and what they're not doing, are you finding that they are, though? That they will move towards, say, down the line, and that it will survive?
They're going to have to. Right now, their main problem is probably separating their editorial staff from the advertising staff, and I think that in itself is another problem too. See, because when I do affiliate marketing, generally I guess you can almost to the traditional media, it will almost be considered advertorial. Because you're recommending stuff to your readership, so it's almost considered an endorsement. And when it's a newspaper, they keep the editorial department and the advertising department completely separate.
And so this begs some questions in terms of ethics.
Yeah. So that's the problem they're having with it. That's the problem they're having dealing with the ethical question of, do we have our editors and our writers blog about something that our advertiser wants us to promote? And that's the problem they kind of grapple with. Whereas as an individual blogger, an independent blogger, that kind of issue, while some people have an issue with it, the discussion generally don't get heated as we're going in the boardroom, I guess.
And I think part of the key is that when people order up a quote-unquote advertorial on my blog or on John's blog, we're not guaranteeing them a positive review. We're not guaranteeing any kind of positive feedback. They're just paying for their exposure. If someone comes and wants a review on some product that it turns out that I don't like, I'm going to say so on my blog. And I don't think that that's something that a newspaper or a magazine would be inclined to do with one of their treasured advertisers.
So, John, can the blogger be ethical?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, as long as there's full disclosure, like all the reviews that I do on my blog are fully disclosed as sponsored reviews, and we do get paid for it, but the opinions are our own. Mind you that there are bloggers who will hide that fact, but that's up to them, and whether they do, I don't think is correct. But generally, all my tweets, if they're sponsored, they all reveal. And basically, I think that every blogger should have a policy to disclose that if they're getting paid to write certain blog posts.
How did you guys meet, Mike?
It's a little bit random. We have a common friend that's on a local car forum, a web scene, Ed Lau, not the same Ed Lau that we went to high school with, a different Ed Lau. And me and Ed, we both started our blogs around the same time, and we were talking about, different things that we wanted to learn about how to run the blog and advertising and personalization, that kind of thing. And then he was telling me that he had a friend named John who happened to be a little more professional in this sense. Like, he did it for a living, and Ed knew that I was a writer, and John might be interested in being a writer. So then that's how we ended up getting connected. And we had our first .com fo together, which you can check out at .comfo.com. And we have these gatherings every Saturday with other internet entrepreneurs and people from the Vancouver area, and we just discuss. And I guess that's how me and John got connected.
And John, the partnership in writing this book, you're happy with how it's come about?
Yeah, I think it's done quite well. Like, it's been well received, and yesterday we hit number 1 on Amazon for our category. So I'm looking forward to see the sales number.
Yeah. The root of all evil, that's a self-styling that you've given yourself. What does that mean?
It was just something that I think more than anything it was my readers who coined that phrase. Generally, it came about when I started blogging about various black hat, gray hat techniques to get traffic and to monetize a blog. And like so people instead of calling it black hat or calling it gray hat, or I just call it evil methods of getting traffic. So essentially, I think it was Ed Lau who called me the root of all evil.
And you get a lot of criticism, do you, John?
No, that's really more of a joke than anything else. It just meant more in fun than anything else. I don't have a problem with it.
One of the things you say in the book is that the blog ought to be personal. And do you find that that's the key, that you have to reveal perhaps some of yourself?
Yeah, for my blog, yes. Because it's named after me, and it's pretty much I have to expose myself out there and just, let the stuff land where it may. So I find the more personal I am, the more I review for myself, the more my readers can connect with me. So I feel that blogging it's a two-way street. It's not a one-way street. Like that's why there are comments on a blog, and so it's a communication medium between myself and my readership. And in order to solidify that relationship, I have to review myself, and that includes exposing the good parts and the bad parts, and it makes myself more relatable to my readers to see that I'm just a normal average guy. I make mistakes like everybody else, and it just creates a better bond. So if you want to, my advice for any bloggers who is just basically just be yourself and don't be afraid of what people think about you. Like, you're never going to be able to please everybody all the time, so it just doesn't work. So,
Mike, are you as successful as John in terms of your blog?
No, nowhere close. For me, blogging is still, it's more of a hobby than a business for me. At this point, freelance writing is still my primary business, and for the most part, I use my blog as an avenue to showcase my writing as an ongoing portfolio. So I haven't really put in the same kind of time and effort that John has into my blog.
And what have you learned from John that's useful for you and your website?
Oh, lots of stuff, just in general. Like not being too afraid of putting advertising on your site. I know that a lot of bloggers initially they had issues with other bloggers that put advertising on their site because they said that they're sold out and they're sellouts and that kind of thing. And I don't think that's really fair to say, because you should be fairly compensated for your work. And blogging is still work; it takes effort.
John, who are some of the other blogs that you read online?
Oh, for other blogging-related blogs, I read, of course, Pro Blogger from Darren Rose. He's probably the granddaddy of them all. I also have a couple of friends' blogs, like there's Shoe Money, Jeremy Shoemaker's blog. I also read ZachJohnson.com, and BloggingTips.com is a very good one, of course. And I read on my friends' blog, like Michael Kwan and Ed Lau and everyone else. So my RSS has about 60 blogs on there that I check on a daily basis. So I don't actually go to everyone's blog. I just use my RSS and just go through that every day.
And you mentioned earlier about when we were talking about being personal, comments are a must on a blog, are they?
To me, yes. I know that some bloggers actually turn off the comments, but to me, blogging is a two-way street. It's, like I said, a communication medium between you and your readership. And so they comment, you should answer their comment, and that's how you build a relationship, and that's how you build a bond with your readership. If you just have a one-way street where you don't have comments, you just blog and give your point of view, you're pretty much just like a newspaper.
And you have contests on your site regularly,
Yeah,
correct?
that's one way I help build relationship. Get the readers involved. We have contests right now to give for the book. We're giving away some iPads, and instead of just choosing randomly, we get the readers to do something like we want them to post reviews on it. We want them to write a review on Amazon. So we try to get them involved within the blog, get them excited, and we kind of get a sense of we're trying to achieve a goal. We're trying to push our book to number one spot. So it kind of helps them. You help us by promoting the book, and you can win something. So it's kind of like group effort, and kind of trying to create a sense of community in a sense.
Mike, what's a deep link?
A deep link would be like when you're writing an article where you have a link going to a specific page on a website rather than just to its domain. So, for example, if I wanted to link to the commentary, which I probably will be doing later today or this weekend, I won't only be linking just to the main domain, TheCommentary.ca, but I will be linking to the specific page where this interview will be posted.
Right.
And that helps both in terms of when you're linking out to external sites as well as if you have your own blog, linking back into your own specific articles as well.
And finally, John, in terms of this recession, has blogging been recession-proof for you?
Pretty much. I find that because of my topic, how to make money by blogging and internet marketing, I've actually done better in a recession. I probably do better during a recession every time because during that time, people are looking for other ways to make some extra cash. They're getting laid off their job. They're afraid that they might get laid off. Their business is suffering. So they're looking for other ways of making money, and eventually they'll find me.
John, and then I guess the other thing, too, is if you buy the book, there is a link in the book to a video tutorial on your website.
Yes, there is a link to a video, and basically the video reveals the blogging business model that I use to generate the income that I do.
John and Mike, this has been a fascinating conversation. Congratulations and continued good luck with the book.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. The websites are johnchow.com, michaelkwan.com. Also check out .comfo.com. A lot of .coms there. Make Money Online is the book. Roadmap of a .com mogul. Morgan James is the publisher. John Chow and Michael Kwan on the line. In Vancouver, I'm Joseph Planta.